Have you heard your steak is killing the planet?
It's the worst thing we eat when it comes to global warming. This is beef.
Beef? What damage does beef do?
Biodiversity breakdown, methane emissions.
Activists say our taste for meat, especially beef, is killing the planet.
If we change towards a plant-based diet, we could save up to 8 billion tons of CO2.
It's not just environmental activists complaining. The influential World Economic Forum says in the ideal future, you will own nothing and be happy. You'll eat less meat. You'll have it as an occasional treat, but not a staple.
We need to change cows, just cows alone.
Bill Gates suggested that the world needs to genetically modify cows to
not be so much a source of methane emissions.
Methane is a greenhouse gas. Cows produce it in their stomachs when digesting their food. That's why activists are so focused on cattle.
Cow flatulence, but
it sounds ridiculous, but it literally is an issue.
But it actually is an issue.
Actually, most of the methane cows produce comes from burping, not the other end. But either way, climate activists worry about it.
Less meat, less heat.
Arnold Schwarzenegger has gone vegan for this reason, and he's eager to tell us about it.
Livestock creates more pollution than all the transportation combined.
Lots of celebrities now promote cutting meat.
Be neat. No meat.
Thank you, Ellen.
Sailesh Rao's group promotes global veganism and the end of all animal agriculture.
Stop using animals for any purpose whatsoever.
Totally end animal agriculture.
As much as possible.
That would mean no leather for shoes, no wool or cashmere, no eating eggs or drinking milk or other animal products. You say that animal agriculture is the biggest contributor to climate change.
It's caused more than half of the warming we are experiencing today.
Well, that's just nonsense.
Greg Wrightstone leads the CO2 Coalition, an organization that challenges alarmist narratives with science.
The life cycle of methane is just 11 years. Any methane that's emitted today will be gone by the year 2036.
But the United Nations says that methane is 80 times more potent than carbon dioxide.
It is 30 times, not 80, but CO2 population in the atmosphere is 300 times as much as methane. So that means that methane's warming potential itself is actually 10% of that of CO2.
Scientists working with his organization argue that methane is not the villain it's made out to be.
We're going to see 0.05 degrees Celsius warming in the next 50 years from methane. Now, that's an extremely small number that you can't even measure.
You're just a science denier.
Well, that's not only wrong, it's quite insulting to me and my other scientists. What we're doing is trying to bring the scientific method into the climate change debate.
He says that's largely been missing from the alarmist science that gets publicized. How could these scientists be so wrong?
A lot of the experts, particularly at the universities, only get their funding if they toe the company line on climate change.
The company line includes pushing pretend meats.
Impossible! Meat from plants!
Many activists just want people to stop eating meat entirely.
You can have veggie burgers. You can have burgers made of mushrooms. To me, the planet is paramount.
Do you really think that Americans are going to be ready to give up their hamburgers?
So it's going to cause in these minor cultural disruptions.
Well, that's a pretty hard sell, isn't it?
It's a hard sell, I understand. But I know that nature cannot be argued with.
So far, we've seen that Americans are not really coming after alternative meat products like they thought they would.
Rancher Shad Sullivan points out that mock meats have seen a decline in sales in recent years. Still, the United Nations and World Economic Forum push even more dubious ideas, like eating bugs to save the planet.
Global corporate companies building cricket emporiums, as I like to call them, as an alternative to beef. Doesn't that sound appetizing? Sounds ridiculous to me.
The conversation around climate change is shifting. The doom and gloom narrative is coming apart. Even Bill Gates now says that climate change isn't world-ending. Does it feel like you can win?
Damn right we're winning. We're gonna win.
Linnea, there is no climate crisis. The fact of the matter is Earth's ecosystems are thriving and prospering. Humanity's benefiting, and we should celebrate that, not demonize it.
So if we want a steak or a hamburger or ribs, I don't think we need to feel guilty about hurting the planet. Hey everyone, I'm Linnea Lueken, and you just watched my first video with the Stossel TV Fellowship Program. You could be the next Stossel Fellow and work with the team to make great content here in the studio in New York City. If you'd like to give it a shot, apply by clicking that button.